guys, this is Jean from Happy Indulgence and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be wrapping up July and the 11 books that I read during July. I'm actually super pleased with my progress because I don't normally read that much, but I participated in the booktubeathon and you can check out my wrap up below, so I hope you guys enjoy that. I'm not going to repeat the 5 books that I read for booktubeathon, so I'm going to cover the rest of the books that I read this month, so I hope you guys watch both of the videos and you really enjoy it. As always, with my wrap-ups, I go from the books that I love the most to the ones that I love the least. So the first book that I read that I absolutely loved was The Epic Crush of Jeannie Lowe by FCE, and I've actually got a video review. I don't normally review books on my channel because I find that it's easier for me to convey how I feel about books on my blog at happyindulgencebooks.com. But yes, I absolutely love this book because it's just a hilarious Monkey King inspired retelling about a girl who has a big temper and she's also tall as well, but she's of Chinese heritage and she's in San Francisco and she's never fit in. She's always felt awkward until a guy called Quentin comes along and then they start demon fighting. So it was a hilarious read and I really enjoyed it. I ended up giving The Epic Crush of Jeannie Lowe 4.5 stars. It comes out in August and I hope you guys all pick it up because I really enjoyed it. The next book that I picked up that I really enjoyed was Etched in Bone by Anne Bishop, and this is the conclusion of the other series. I really enjoyed this series throughout the whole 4 books because it's such a unique book about monsters that are actually monsters, and by that I mean they will eat people. And it was interesting exploring the dynamic of how they were trying to fit in the lakeside community and how they had humans as well that they sort of had to tiptoe around, and they sort of learnt what it meant to be human and what it meant to be protecting one another. And I absolutely love the scenes with Meg, and she's really come a long way through the whole series. This series probably has the most slow burning romance in the history of all series because it took 4 books, and yes, you gotta bet that this last book better have its happy ending, and it did, so I was really excited about that. I gave Etched in Bone 4 stars. I just loved the conclusion of it, and it's a super unique urban fantasy that I hope everyone will read. The next book I read that I really enjoyed was Corpselight by Angela Slatter, and I was actually part of the blog tour this month. I love this series because it's set in Brisbane and it's like seeing it come alive with landmarks that I know as a supernatural underworld, and also the main character Verity Fastbinder. She's super relatable, but she's also very witty and sarcastic, and she's sort of jaded towards the world, and she has a bit of a dark past as well. All the supernatural creatures in here were super fascinating because of you know, there's things like golems, there's things like shapeshifters. You don't normally see a lot of these mythological creatures come to life, so this series really brings it out as well. I also really loved Corpselight because it has a really big family focus. Verity actually has a baby in this one, and it talks about motherhood through several different generations, so that was interesting as well. This is an Australian urban fantasy read that I really enjoyed, and I gave Corpselight 4.5 stars. I also read Wreck by Fleur Ferris, and this is another Aussie YA read. It's about a girl who's starting her journalism career, and she's done that by investigating a boating incident that resulted in a missing son. She gets kidnapped by a fugitive and she really has to find out whether he's telling the truth and how he's linked in with a boating incident from years ago. It was really interesting seeing all the criminal investigations in here, seeing the fugitive running away, seeing the cops do police investigations, and how they reopen a case that they concluded years ago. Being an ex-police officer, it was interesting seeing Fleur Ferris's take on it. It was just a really exciting action thriller throughout the whole thing. So I'm actually going to be interviewing Fleur on my blog on happyindulgencebooks.com, so I hope you guys check it out. So I ended up giving Wreck 3.5 stars. I really enjoyed it. The next book I read was Songs That Sound Like Blood by Jared Thomas, and this is an Own Voices Aboriginal read. It's about a girl called Roxy, and she lives in a small town, and she's always wanted to get out of the town, and she has a big talent for singing, and it was interesting seeing her grow and seeing her embrace her Aboriginal identity and just what it meant when she moved out of her small town as well. She also explores a bit about her lesbian identity, and I found it was really convincing just the way it was set out as well. So I ended up giving Songs That Sound Like Blood 3 stars. The next book I read was TheDarkest Corners by Kara Thomas, and I really wanted to pick this one up because it's been compared to my favourite YA thriller, which is called Dangerous Girls by Abigail Haas. Darkest Corners also was about a crime that was committed several years ago, and it's about a girl revisiting it because her testimony actually resulted in the serial killer getting put to jail. But as she comes back into the scene and she visits her old town, she starts to feel that that might have been the wrong decision, especially as she reunites with the people she used to know and her old best friend. It was just a really interesting mystery thriller. I found during as I was reading though, I kind of got bored at times because there wasn't enough pacing there to keep me going. I found some of the investigations kind of boring as well. But when it does reach the end, it does hit you just how mind-blowing it is, and I wish there were more clues during the book. I ended up giving TheDarkest Corners 3 stars. The last book I want to talk about is the Buildup season by Megan Jacobson, and I actually interviewed the author, and there's also a giveaway for Australians on my blog. I'll link you guys down below. It's about a girl called Iliad, and she's got a lot of anger within her and a lot of pain because she grew up witnessing domestic violence between her parents, and it's actually really affected her. I actually only got to the first 50 pages because I found Iliad's point of view was actually really hard to get into because she's such a complex character. So this is a did not finish book for me. These are all the books that I read during July. There's 11 of them in total. If you missed out on some of my other reviews, check out my booktubeathon wrap up as well. And yes, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more. Thanks for watching guys. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.